Welcome to the latest Inside Commerce newsletter video short, and this is going to be a masterclass around using NPS, Net Promoter Score data to fine-tune your customer experience strategy. Sounds like a bit of a mouthful. Let me break this down. So for those of you who've not worked with NPS before, NPS is basically a simple survey that asks people on a scale of 0 to 10 to rate how likely they are to recommend you to somebody they know based on the experience they've had with you. It's been used lots and lots in offline marketing. It's common across digital, but not all businesses use it. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because I talked to a lot of businesses around customer experience and how so many people say that, CX is one of the core drivers for our strategy. And then you say, okay, so what are your CX centric metrics? And not everyone has a CSAT, customer satisfaction metric, in their KPIs, which is a failure in my opinion, because you can't objectively measure customer experience and improve on it if you don't have at least one CSAT KPI. NPS is the one that I go to as a starting point. I think it works really well in e-commerce. So the best thing to do to start simple is to add an NPS survey to the order confirmation page. So this isn't about trying to gather it during the journey with persistent feedback. You can do persistent feedback options on all types of pages, category pages, product pages with simple questions. This is about measuring satisfaction with the order process once somebody has placed an order. They don't want to interrupt their order process. Catch them on the order confirmation page. You have the order confirmation emails, and then you just have a simple thing saying, and it can be an overlay on mobile, appears after a certain number of seconds. On desktop, you can use the right-hand side of the screen saying, how did we do today? Please rate how likely you are to recommend us. And you have a free text field there so that people can add extra comments if they want to. What you do need to do, though, is you need to track the ratings. The rating is from 0 to 10. You need to track the number that you are given as a custom variable in your analytics like GA, because you want to be able to track this and monitor and measure against your buckets of scores, aggregates, all those who score like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., and then measure what impact that has on like reorder rates, average order values, lifetime value. Therefore, you also want to be passing this data through to your BI. Whatever your BI tooling is, whatever you're doing that deeper reporting other than your like analytics trend reporting, but make sure you are tracking this data. So we do it on the order confirmation page, but also put it in the order confirmation email, because not everybody's going to respond to it on an order conf page. So increase your chances of capturing more data. Now, why do we want to do this right now? So when somebody's placed an order, you would hope that they're in a good mood with you, right? They've committed to spending money. However, if the experience on the site has been really poor, or something's happened that's made them not come away with a really positive experience, we want to know and we want to react. Equally, if somebody has been delighted with how good the online shopping experience is, well, actually, we want to start to nudge them onto more proactive behaviors as well. So if you start, normally in NPS, someone who's rated 8, 9, 10 is a promoter, so someone who's happy. Anyone who's rated 6 or 7 is considered neutral, and anyone below is a detractor. And it's a detractors you really want to focus on, because those people could spread bad word of mouth, or they're unlikely to come back and shop again because something wasn't quite right. So what we can do after that is, when we see anybody with low scores, go in and analyze the qualitative feedback. So those free text fields, not everyone would have filled it out, but you can start to look through the free text fields and do analysis on what is really happening, what's the feedback. And then you can expedite as well. So if somebody has rated you less than a 6, you really want to expedite that. You want to push that into a customer service queue to follow up. Now, whether that's a follow-up by an email, automated email, whether it's a follow-up through a phone call, depending on what your resourcing model is. But you want to find out what's going on. And the timing for doing this is quite critical, because most businesses have customer review emails. And those review emails might go out like 5 days after an order's been placed, or a week, whatever the time frame is. And you don't want to be sending review emails out straight away, because you want to iron out issues first before you send a review email. If you send a review email before you've ironed out issues, you get more negative reviews, or you're likely to get a lower aggregate score. So a good example for me is like deferring emails for 10 to 14 days after purchase, getting all the people on low NPS score, trying to fix any issues that they've had. Maybe a discount code didn't work, or maybe a promotion they're expecting was no longer available. There can be lots of different reasons. Maybe the site was a nightmare. Maybe the mobile site didn't perform how they're expecting. Maybe they lost their basket. Who knows what the issues are, but you need to find these out, fix them, put the people in a happier place, that they at least know that you've tried to help them before a review email goes out. That can normally, tend to like boost your review scores. Or if someone leaves a lower score, they might add a comment on saying, the brand really tried to help me. So even though I'm disappointed, I can't fault them for their excellent customer service. So that is better than just leaving someone who's annoyed alone. Conversely, if somebody scores high and we rate them as a promoter, well, let's move them into positive purchase flow. So I've done this in tools like Klaviyo, where you can have a flag on that customer. You can push that into Klaviyo at the customer level based on email address, and you could push them into like a separate flow where maybe you are promoting like a referral scheme, saying, thanks so much for placing the order. Glad you enjoyed the experience. Why don't you tell your friends, and you could earn X back. We don't want to do that if someone's annoyed, but we do want to do it if they're really positive, because they're more likely to do so, provided that there is a value proposition attached to that email where they get rewarded for that next positive behavior. The next thing we got to know is that CSAT isn't static. It changes over time. I could place an order on a site, be really happy, and then something happens with the delivery. And this is why we need phase 2 of CSAT, where the NPS survey needs to be resent after an item has been shipped and the order has been received. And we need to leave that a few days after. So we want to make sure that person not only has had the shipment, but they've had a meaningful time to use that product. If it really depends on the nature of the product, but you might want to leave it a few days after. You might want to leave it a few weeks after that shipment, and then send out another NPS going, how did we do? Tell us how the delivery service was and how happy you are with your product. Now we can track whether the CSAT is going up or down. If we see someone who was a promoter to start with and now they've dropped down, what's happening in that delivery? What's happening in the post-purchase experience? Then again, you can push those into CS priorities. And also the intelligence here can vary depending on the business and the product you're selling. But say, for example, you're selling and you've got a wide range of average order values. If you're getting customers with really high average order values who suddenly got really fed up with their order, you might want to prioritize those higher than someone with a low order value. You could flag it on VIPs. If you've got a VIP segment and somebody's gone from promoter to neutral, then you probably want to expedite that specifically because you don't want to lose people out of your VIP segment. So we need to monitor it on order, and we need to monitor it after delivery, and we need to know whether people are getting happier or worse, or they're staying the same. If they rated reasonably high and they stay, if they rated an 8 and they stay at an 8, well, that's good. There's nothing that we need to escalate. If they've gone from a 4 up to an 8, well, actually, great. You've delighted them. You've made them happy. So maybe now you push them into that more proactive flow around promoting, whether it's cross and upsells, loyalty schemes, referrals, etc. So we need to be able to continuously do this. And if we're doing it whilst tracking the analytics at user level, and we can monitor over time, that means that we can do smart analysis to work out not just aggregate scores, but how many users are increasing their customer satisfaction. Therefore, by proxy, we know that the customer experience is getting better, and those are going down, and what percentage of our total audience are moving up and moving down, or versus staying the same. And to do this at scale requires automation. For example, I've got a couple of clients of mine that I've encouraged to do this. We're using Klaviyo. So passed in that customer level flag email address for promoter when customers are rated like 9 or 10, and then put them into custom segments. So making sure that the customer profiles are tagged, but you've got a way of changing this because, as I said, customer satisfaction isn't static. We all know it. We can be delighted one minute, miserable the next. That is the human nature. The other thing that can be automated, depending on the tooling you've got, is where somebody's moved from like high score to low score, and we want to prioritize them for a customer service follow-up. If you're using a ticketing tool like a Gorgeous or a Zendesk, having a way that automates the creation of a ticket for a customer that needs to be followed up. You could even create specific rule to auto-assign it to a specific customer service agent if you want to. The level of tooling you have will determine the level of sophistication you can get out of your automation. But even if you don't have any of these tools like customer help desk services or flow-based marketing tools like a Klaviyo, if you don't have anything like that and it's still very manual based, then at least by having a report, by tracking the NPS score, and by having a report to be able to look at people who've gone up and down and being able to do this associated email address, you could at least manually take those email addresses and do a one-to-one personal follow-up. There's nothing better, in my opinion, when something's gone wrong than a personal follow-up to say, look, really sorry you're upset about this. What can we do to help? Look, let us have a call with you and let's sort this out for you. And equally, if you've got really important customers and they've said, well, we're really happy, being able to write a personal email address. I've seen some really nice D2C brands do it, where it's thanks so much for placing like your second order, your third order. So glad you are happy with the experience. Thanks so much. You look forward to you shopping again with us in the future. Others even go to that point where the first time somebody places an order and rates it highly, they get a surprise and delight thing. So there are so many ways from a CX point of view that you can react to CSAT scores, but it starts by measuring it, and it starts by having an idea of what you want to do to then fix issues and reward people. So the advice for on this video short is start with the NPS Net Promoter Score, stick it on your order confirmation page and in order confirmation email, follow up again after the delivery, make sure you're measuring and tracking the score that you get, the 0 to 10 rating in your analytics, and that's in your BI, and it's associated at the customer level. So it's not just anonymized data. You need to be able to attach it to customer records in your CRM or BI, so that we've got that ability to do reporting on who are in the different buckets, and make sure that you have a plan for how you respond. Hope that's been useful. Any questions, advice, tips, do reach out. Thanks as always.